What is this? The Witcher 4? Is anyone still watching this garbage? We got the critical drinker. I was about to say thinker.
Hey, remember The Witcher, everyone?
Hmm. Damn, I forgot about how the last season was a little
Remember
whack.
how we were all super excited to get this awesome big budget TV adaptation of one of the most beloved dark fantasy series of all time?
Yep.
Remember how cool it was that
that.
Henry Cavill was playing Geralt of Rivia because he was a massive fantasy nerd and a huge fan of the Witcher books?
I think the whole situation, bro, Henry Cavill has gone through such a fucking trial. Dude, it's wild to see him go from Superman and like the fandom embracing, you know, the Man of Steel and the job he did as Superman. I thought was phenomenal. I thought it was outstanding. You know, I'm not trying to compare him to the new one or anything like that, but then getting outcast and scrapped and thrown to the wayside, and then you get The Witcher, and man, he nailed it out of the park. Like that role he played was phenomenal. And a lot of people in the beginning didn't actually think he was going to do such a good job. Because obviously, like, Geralt, people know him from the video games, The Witcher 3, and he doesn't look, you know, like he's, like, rugged, and he looks a little bit different, right? Obviously, he's a little younger, so I think it actually works out very, very well. But nevertheless, dude, and then this happened. He walks.
Remember tuning in for that first season and slowly realizing.
I do. I tried The Witcher not knowing anything about The Witcher. You can go back and like watch my first taste of The Witcher 3. Like I tried to watch this show with my buddy. I'm sorry I'm rambling, but this is important. Like this scene when like she's getting fucking teased and all that kind of shit. I was just like, and I'm not trying to be rude, but she was just so terrifying. Look, like it was like creeping me the fuck out, grossing me out type shit. And I was like, I can't do this. I didn't know anything about her story. I was just like, nah, bro, this show is not for me, bro. It's just not. And then I came back around and man, the first fucking 2 seasons were fucking phenomenal. And the third season had its moments, but fuck, it's the pacing and the writing, and it's just I felt like it was going downhill. And then you hear the rumors, what's happening behind the scenes, and how the showrunners don't really want to stay true to the works of art that are the books, apparently. And you know how that usually goes out. Oh, we know better. Well, where have we heard that from? Oh yeah, Game of Thrones. How about that?
In for that first season and slowly realizing the narrative was a confused jumble of absolute nonsense that jumped backwards and forwards all over the place with zero explanation, punctuated by the occasional mildly entertaining monster of the week adventure, and half the major characters were race swapped because Netflix, and Yasuke was now an insufferable prick that made you want to gouge out your own eye.
See, for me, I don't actually have like, when I watched the show, I didn't have like references of the race swaps and stuff like that. It didn't bother me. I don't think any of the characters specifically because they were a certain race bothered me at all. But I would have to go back and watch it and see if like, because you know there's situations where you have like dwarves, like in Lord of the Rings, that TV show that Amazon's done, and you have the black dwarf, and it's like, dwarves are supposed to be underground, you know, white people are pale as fuck because obviously they lived in caves type shit. So it kind of takes you out of that immersion, and also it gets this negative stigma that gets pushed out there. So if you're a nerd like me who loves listening to shit like this and talking and just shooting the shit about the industry, movies, games, all that kind of stuff, it creates this negative point of view that just gets thrust out there. It doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. It just kind of like just sours the taste a little bit.
Eyeballs in sheer frustration,
and
you could never tell where you were in the world because every single village and town contained the same baffling melting pot of ethnic diversity as a modern-day American city, and for some reason Geralt was relegated to a background character in his own show, and basically the whole thing was a retarded feminist power fantasy written by frustrated middle-aged liberal white women. Yeah, that. Well,
I wonder what would happen if they had a movie where it was like predominantly like an African Americans or just African, sorry, a predominant like African culture movie, but somehow they had it like mainstream, like on the level of like Marvel or The Witcher or, You know, like these big IPs, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, shit like that. Like, do you think if it got into the hands of modern day Hollywood that they would race swap and put white people in there? Or you know what I mean? It's just like, I just don't think they would. It's you know, they would stay true to form. And I mean, shit, I might get in trouble. Black Panther is actually a great example. Like, yeah, you have white people and stuff like that, but they do so good at staying with the vision of the setting in Wakanda, and it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal movie. Some people don't like it, but I think y'all are just don't have good taste. Maybe you don't like Marvel movies. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, it's fucking annoying. Like, what are we talking about? Like, Severus Snape is fucking black now. You know, that's just fucking stupid.
Oh, good news, because
so
The Witcher is back for season 4. Well, I say The Witcher, I really mean the Yennefer and Ciri show with a special guest appearance by Geralt of Rivia. Yeah.
Dude, her in the desert. Oh my god, I forgot all about that. That shit was fucking corny, man. Like, I want to compare this show to Halo. The Halo show at least had like good CG. Like, the CGI was pretty decent all the way through. Shitty fucking show. Terrible writing. And the CGI got even better later on. This show, third fucking season, and the CG, this shit was just, I don't know what they were doing. Something just threw me off, man.
It's lost its lead actor and the vast majority of its audience, and probably every shred of fan goodwill it might have once had, but it's back all the same. And I have to admit, my first thought when I saw the teaser trailer the other day was, what?
Wait, there's a teaser trailer right now? Oh, I gotta check that out. We gonna watch that puppy
Why in
after
the
this.
Christ-mothering fuck are Netflix still pouring money into this black hole of talent and creativity? Like, who's The Witcher even made for now? Who do they expect to watch this piece of shit? It's not fans of the books or even the games, that's for sure.
It's actually just like, oh god, I don't like saying shit like this because, like, I love my parents and stuff like that, but they love watching their NCISs, their Bachelors, they're Dancing with the Stars. You know what I mean? They're Survivors. And I really do think that people that aren't, that haven't experienced, like the people that don't know video games, people that don't know these books, they think it's really, really good. They think it's really, really interesting. It's made for fucking normies. That's who they're catering to. And I think it's sad because I think that you can have the normie audience. Like, there's a bunch of fucking normies that watch Game of Thrones, man. There's a bunch of fucking normies that watch Lord of the Rings, that watch Harry Potter, that shit. Fucking watch the old Star Wars movies, right? Because they're kind of doing the same thing. They're catering the normie audience nowadays too. When you do that, you are abandoning the soul of the project itself, right? You're not creating something new. It's already pre-existing, or adapting something that's pre-existing, a world that's pre-existing. So stay true to the roots, because if you have that soul, it's going to be epic. And if it's epic, all the fucking day ones, the fans, all the fans, whatever it might be, are going to love the project, or at least watch it and you know, give it its time to shine. And then guess who else is going to fucking watch it? Because they're friends with the fucking fandom. The normies. It's just gonna happen naturally. And if you have something that's good, it doesn't matter, bro.
The show's got about as much in common with the source material as I've got in common with Last Jedi Defenders. It's not fans of the first couple of seasons either, because the handful that actually managed to slog through 3 seasons of this nuclear-grade slag pretty much abandoned ship the moment Henry Cavill bailed out. And don't worry, I'm gonna talk more about that shortly.
Okay.
Believe that. And it's not for casual fans of fantasy adventure either, because this show
I don't think that's true. I think it is. I think the casual fan that we think about back in the day has shifted. It's almost like politics, right? You consider yourself centered now. Well, actually, or back in like 10 years ago or whatever. Now you're considered right wing, right? Because of how things shift. I think that's kind of how it is with like normie fans. I think if you were like a normie fantasy fan back in the day, now you're considered like an expert by any means.
Any pretense about being fun, fantasy, or adventure when Blood Origin was excreted out onto our screens.
Blood what?
Jesus, that series was so fucking bad, I think it gave me legitimate brain damage. Then again, it might have been the pint of hydraulic fluid that I forcefully drank afterwards.
Oh, I forgot about this shit. What did he, the rats or some shit like that? Didn't she have like a Killmonger haircut?
Who can say, really?
Oh boy. There we go.
The point I'm making here is that The Witcher is the deadest of dead horses at this point, and flogging it even harder with each passing year isn't gonna bring it back to life. At best, you might get an expulsion of decomposition gases building up inside the rotten digestive tract, and at worst, you'd be better off dumping $100 million into a big pile and lighting the fucking thing on fire. At least that way it would look cool for a while. And the thing that's so ball-achingly frustrating about all of this is that it never should have happened this way in the first place. There's actually a world where The Witcher went on to become the next Game of Thrones, a mature, violent, and complex dark fantasy show with an excellent cast that perfectly captured the adventure and the day.
You know what's crazy? There's another show that had the exact same potential. The exact fucking same potential. Probably even a higher potential than Game of Thrones. You want to know what show I'm talking about? I'm talking about the fucking Acolyte. Dude. I'm still pissed about that shit, man. Not it getting canceled, but the way they delivered that shit.
Danger of the books, harnessed the popular zeitgeist and was universally beloved by everyone. But that world never came to be, because let's be honest, we live in the shittest timeline imaginable, and everything that should be great ends up sacrificed on the altar of Hollywood hubris and the message. Honestly, if reincarnation turns out to be real, knowing my fucking luck, I'll come back as myself, just so that I have to experience this crap all over again.
Yeah. No! That would... Yeah. Oh, God.
No! And looking back with the benefit of hindsight, it's pretty obvious now that this show was always doomed to failure.
I think when they left, I don't know, I've only watched this one time through. I never... with good shows, like really, really good shows, I usually watch through a couple times. I've only watched it once. But I think the best part where it should have ended for me, where I should have stopped watching, I feel like where it kind of peaked was at the end of the battle, right? When Yennefer's missing, Geralt's like trying to find her, all that shit happened, you know, her master or whatever just kind of like died or some shit like that. All the people sacrificing the battlefield. I think that was like the peak, in my opinion. If I'm remembering right. And then everything after that, you know, there's good moments and shit, but it definitely fell off pretty hard in the third season. And the fact that they're not going to have Henry Cavill in this season, are we going to make it, like, is this supposed to be the final season? Or are they planning on doing more? Because if they're planning on doing more, if I was a betting man, I would say they don't make it. I would guarantee you that they cancel that shit.
At the start, there was Andrzej Sapkowski, the author of the Witcher books, and in theory, the first line of defense against shitty adaptations. I mean, the guy's a great writer for sure, but also possibly the world's worst fucking businessman, selling the game rights to CD Projekt Red back in '97 for a pitiful amount, and actually turning down a profit-sharing agreement. A decision that cost him tens of millions of dollars in lost royalties. Damn. What are you, retarded? And by all accounts, his agreement with Netflix was just as retarded, giving him almost no creative control over the show, meaning that it was entirely in the hands of the showrunner.
To be fair, some people aren't motivated by money. I know me saying that, a lot of y'all are gonna think I'm full of shit. It is what it is. He might have made a dumbass move, or maybe at the end of the day, it was about getting the project out. Like I know that there's writers out there that think they have written a masterpiece. I guarantee you this. And they would sacrifice a lot of money just for their story to be seen by other people, enjoyed by other people. There's something wholesome to that, to me, honestly. About
themselves.
He could have just fucked up. Yeah.
As he admitted himself, he visited the set a couple of times and offered them some ideas, but the Netflix team never listened to them and...
Oh my god. Are you fucking kidding me? You have the creator, the mind that the dude that's paying your oh my fucking god.
Treated him like a complete nobody. That's his own words right there, not mine. In fact,
this is why you don't sell out. You have to keep creative control. God damn, that's crazy, man.
In fact, lack of respect for Sapkowski and his work was a bit of a running theme throughout the show. As former showrunner Bo DeMeo later revealed, the writing team disliked the books and actively mocked the source material for being outdated and problematic. Because of course they did.
Where'd I hear that from? Oh yeah, Snow White.
I mean, just take a look at these fucking people. If this group of...
I don't care. I'm not gonna judge people off of a fucking photo. I hate this shit. I hate when people like post like the gaming developer team, right? And it's like Women's Day or just like the woman's pick, you know, and it's just all a bunch of chicks and they're like, oh, this is why the games suck. It's like whatever. At the end of the day, you can be a woman, you can be black, you can be Muslim, you can be anything, and you could love video games and you could be a like phenomenal developer. I don't give a fuck about that shit, but at the end of the day, or you know, fucking, I don't know, crew, studio, whatever the fuck you call it, movie makers, I don't fucking know, cast, and I don't know, but still, who gives a fuck? Like, who does?
Unique individuals doesn't scream hardcore, gritty, dark fantasy fanatics, then I just don't know what.
I would say if you saw a bunch of fat dudes with neck beards, that shit might be gas, I'm not gonna lie.
What does? You know, one of the problems with hiring a bunch of millennial feminist activists to write your show is that they only really know how to write for a very specific audience.
Trauma dumping.
Other millennial feminist activists.
That too. Yeah, that too. Yeah, this is a fair point.
And I hate to be the bearer of bad news on this one. In fact, fuck that, I actually love it. But the average fantasy fan doesn't give a shit about your stupid activism and your Southern Californian progressive girl power characters. Notice how the entire focus of the show became Yennefer and Ciri, while Geralt just kind of hung around in the background looking sad. Notice how all the male characters had the same blandly agreeable, mildly neurotic and carefully controlled pussification that you get every single time from writers that have never come within a nautical mile of actual masculine behavior. The other safeguard that should have prevented this disaster was Henry Cavill, who was a huge fan of both the books and the games.
Bro, critical drinker, be fucking realistic for 1 second. Like I get what you're saying, and I fuck with it, but like, you yourself said the fucking creator, the writer, came into the studio and gave them a couple of ideas. He didn't come out here and just be like, oh, we gotta scrap this, we gotta scrap that, that's gonna be fucking different. No, a couple ideas. A couple good ideas, probably. I'm assuming. And they didn't do any of them. You think the fucking Henry Cavill, pretty boy Henry Cavill, that people... No, they're not gonna fucking listen to him.
Knew the lore like the back of his hand and wasn't shy about letting people know it.
So do you correct people? I don't necessarily... I am a...
He should, bro. It's the same shit. What's the one dude? Is it Sam Witwer or something like that? The guy that plays, he's the voice of Maul. He was the Force Unleashed. I think it's Sam Witwer. He knows the fucking lore like a motherfucker. And you hear him talking about it, like clips and shit. Like he knows his shit, man. And like when he tried out for the role to play fucking Star Killer, I think it's Sam Witwer. I'm sorry. I'm not sure 100% if that's his fucking name or not. I apologize if it's not. But you know, Star Killer, the actor that plays Star. He said when he auditioned for the role, they told him to meditate as a Sith Lord, and he was like, well, Sith Lords. He did the thing, right? He did it, and he was like, they're like, why'd you do it like that? Because he didn't do it the way they wanted. He was like, well, Sith Lords, they don't know how to meditate. So it had to be really hard for him because they are driven by pain and passion and all these things, but not inner peace. Not inner peace at all. That's not what they're driven by. So meditation is literally practically impossible. So he has to struggle to do it. And he's trying to put this lightsaber together and he's fucking trying to meditate out of rage. And it's fucking dope. It's fucking dope. And he knows his shit and it works. If they just would listen to this fucking guy, they might actually have a banger.
Abusive about getting
crazy.
Being loyal to the source material. Let's put it that way.
Of course.
And also, I bet you there's a component to this where he is like this quote unquote know-it-all on the set, and people get tired of it. Like, oh my god, this guy again. You're not the fucking director, dude. And that behavior, I bet you, alienated him a little bit. And who knows, maybe that alienated him in the script. Maybe that was part of the, thinking when they're writing the script for the second season or the third season or the fourth. You know what I mean?
That stuff made him problematic and difficult for the showrunners, who got butthurt that the actor knew their own jobs better than they did, and soon began to refer to him as a toxic gamer bro who...
It's fucking stupid. He's a resource. He's a fucking resource. You hired him to do one job, but he knows how to do multiple. Like, oh my God. Lean on the fucking anchors. Lean on your cornerstones.
Constantly argued and made life difficult for them.
Oh no, how terrible. That's just awful. How terrible. Oh no.
Oh, stop it, guys. I can only like him so much. Cavill, to his credit, clearly did his level best to steer the show away from disaster, but one guy can only do so much against that kind of collective retardation, and by season 3, he was done and bailed on...
I want to say this real quick. I'm so happy the R word's back. I'm just, my vocabulary. Oh man, I fucking love that word. I really do. I remember back in the day, our coach had this thing. He had this whole poster and everything, and tried to tell us how we couldn't say that word anymore. And we would swear. It's just come on, bro. Come on, man. It's not gonna kill you to fucking hear the R word. Like,
the show, and I don't blame him one bit. Being in The Witcher at this point isn't a privilege, it's a fucking humiliation ritual. Honestly, that guy's career is gonna go down as one of the biggest wastes of talent and potential in Hollywood history. He keeps signing on to projects that he's 100% passionate about, that have all the makings of success, only to get screwed over by incompetent directors and showrunners time and again. And I've no doubt that the same thing...
I completely forgot about, bro, why they turned that dude gay. That shit was uncomfortable to watch, bro. That shit was fucking weird. I don't even fucking know his name. The guy that never fucking ages.
Things gonna happen to his Warhammer 40k show, because let's be real here. Could you imagine for 1 second that world being realized by writers that are softer than my first shite? And so, what do we have left, dear viewer? Another season of a show that nobody's fucking interested in? A new leading actor who's just a cheaper replacement for someone way better?
That is literally the only reason I'm interested in this, because I want to see how they handle recasting him. I think it's kind of a terrible decision for this guy to even take the role in the first place, because there's just a negative stigma around this project now because of the whole situation with Henry Cavill. It's just, bro, why would you take this fucking role? Like, how much are they paying this man?
I mean, I like Liam Hemsworth and all that, and he seems like a good lad, but let's be honest here, he's the guy you hire when you can't afford his big brother. The Witcher at this point...
Don't like girls hate that guy too, because like wasn't he dating like Miley Cyrus or something, some bullshit. I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of women that don't like him to begin with because of that whole situation. And then you're gonna have a bunch of fucking neckbeard guys and they're like, it should have been fucking Henry type. Oh man.
It feels like some weird holdover from the late 2010s when race swapping and girl bosses and feminist reimaginings.
I think the girl boss is the biggest issue, because it's so fucking, it's front and it's just in your face, and it's obnoxiously annoying with the writing. Which, like, Yennefer's a phenomenal character. The actor's great, you know what I mean? But it's constantly girl boss attitude type shit, and it gets boring and cliche and not realistic, and it's a fucking fantasy project in the first place, so I shouldn't even be thinking about being realistic. But it's overdone, man. It really is. And there's projects that work really, really well with that same kind of, you want to have a dominant, whatever it is, female protagonist. I mean, look at fucking Game of Thrones. Look at fucking dragons. Fuck, House of the Dragons. They do a very, very good job at that, and they know how to balance it out, and they know how to keep it realistic at the same time, believable. In keeping her character so strong, but whatever. I guess that doesn't fucking matter. It's not for people like me and you that enjoy this kind of, just let's get slop for the
of
normies.
classic franchises were all the rage, instead of shitty relics from a retarded timeline that the rest of us would rather forget. It's a show that somehow managed to cling on to existence like that skid mark you left in your toilet bowl that just won't shift no matter how many times you piss directly on it. And
Well, it had a really, really good start. The first season was really, really good. Versus let's go with Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. The first season was really dull, really boring, really slow. Some people even call it like a fan project type shit. You know what I mean? So when you have a really good start like The Witcher did, the TV show, you're just gonna naturally have that progression, keep going and going and going. It's gonna tailor off, but they're still gonna have a good audience. I don't know how successful it's gonna be, but it makes sense. Maybe after season 4 they won't have another one. I don't know.
you know you're gonna have to get the bleach and scrubbing brush to finally put an end to the bastards. The Witcher should have died 3 or 4 years ago, and keeping it alive as this horrifying zombie franchise isn't just cruel to the source material, it's even more cruel to anyone dumb enough to watch
I think it's also potentially gonna hurt the fucking game, the Witcher 4 that they have coming out.
the thing. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
He mad. He big mad. No, I agree with a lot of what Critical Drinker's talking about. There's some differences in my opinion in his, but for the majority, I agree with it. Phenomenal video by Critical. Usual, you know. He if you don't know of Critical Drinker, go give him a sub. You know, go comment on his video. Go give him love. Go make sure you liked his video. You know. But yeah, let's check out the comment section real quick. Claiming that Henry Cavill was toxic on set because he pushed for the show to be accurate and respect the source material is the type of stupidity that only Hollywood can come up with. The very idea of giving the fans what they want is offensive to them. Yeah. How many times is this gonna have to happen where, you know, creative minds? It fucking irritates me. Like, these people are supposed to be creatives, and all their job is to be as creative as possible to bring the words to life. And it seems like instead of that, they want to change the words and create their own vision. It's just like, how many times does this have to fucking happen and it flop over again? Like, when is this going? Because this trend's going to fucking stop. Hollywood can't just bleed money forever. It's not gonna fucking happen, bro. God, I just want this shit to fucking stop, man. I really do. Not even Henry could save it at this point. Well, yeah, he's not there anymore. That clip of Henry Cavill saying "fuck" sums up the thoughts pretty well. Yeah, same. I completely forgot about The Witcher. I knew the new season was coming out sooner or later. Didn't know there's a trailer out. And I'm really intrigued to see how they handle it, because no matter what you want to say about it, Henry definitely got a backseat in season 3 for sure. And like, are you gonna give him more of a spotlight now? You're gonna give The Witcher more of a spotlight because you have a new actor, or are you gonna even try to hide him more because you're trying not to? I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Like, I think of like Spartacus or Game of Thrones. Like, there's a bunch of different TV projects where you have a predominant role that you know, you had to recast, and I think Spartacus did a good job. I mean, Game of Thrones, that wasn't really a predominant role, but yeah, it was a good video, man. Comment down below with your thoughts. I'm interested to see what y'all have to say about this whole thing. It fucking drives me crazy that this is still fucking happening. I feel like this has been happening since like 2018. Like, this doesn't feel like a fairly new, trend in cinematic or TV shows, for that matter. But yeah, comment down below with your thoughts. Like the video, help push it out to more people. Like can go a long ways. It's simple as a click, and it helps me out tremendously. I'm a small creator, and also hit the sub button. Let's get to 10K, and I will see you guys in the next one. Deuces.